So the recent breaches of both Okta and HubSpot, the interesting thing about it was that the attackers not necessarily tried to steal data of Okta or HubSpot. They tried to steal data of Okta's users and HubSpot users in order to extort those companies directly and not Okta and HubSpot specifically. What it means is that you need to also look at all the third-party services and SaaS services that you use and understand what's going on in them, so that if they are getting breached, your data is safe, or at least you know what data in your organization is compromised when one of your third-party or SaaS services is being attacked. The first thing that the companies need to have is a visibility into all of their third-party services and SaaS services that are being used. We started from an example of Okta and HubSpot, but really there are thousands of smaller SaaS services that organizations use that are great for productivity. Everything that people can find in the Microsoft or Google Workspace marketplaces, or any Slack bot that they might be using. They need to be aware of all those services that are being used, including shadow SaaS, where the end users of an organization can, in many cases, can basically install and use whatever SaaS service they want, which is great for their productivity. But if the IT teams or security teams are not aware of those services being used, there's no way to protect if anything goes wrong. The second piece is visibility is not always enough. The second piece is understanding what happens and what those services are doing. Understanding what actions they're taking, what data they are moving, so that if something happens, you'll know what happened. And also you'll be able to understand if something happened by looking at the behavior of those services relatively to what you would expect those services to do. And the third piece is also prevention. There's a lot of emphasis going into zero trust and other systems to make sure that users are not abusing your system. But really, there are, in many cases, as many API keys as users in many of those SaaS services, and doing the same ideas of least privilege principles and zero trust for those API keys is in many cases as important as doing it for users. In Atmosec, we're helping you to protect your SaaS ecosystem by giving you visibility into all your SaaS services of the ecosystem, including shadow SaaS and long-tail SaaS, and including the actions that those different SaaS services are doing internally and between themselves. We help protect by creating baselines for the SaaS services and their activities, and then compare how the SaaS services in your organizations behave relatively to this baseline, and are able to alert on anomalies or outright malicious behavior when that occurs. And the third piece, in terms of protection, we're helping you automate a lot of the SaaS security hygiene tasks by helping you understand what's going on in the organization and how you can clean up some of the mess that happens with in your SaaS ecosystem to make everything safer. It's really great to be here. We have a lot of traction. A lot of customers are coming in. A lot of traction at our booth, which is B40, by the way. Yeah, it's been great so far. A lot of follow-ups that will need to be followed.